Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at a really interesting deck. Well, it's not from the online scene, it's my own version. But this is a deck that I've been seeing in the online versions, and obviously online as well in terms of videos, and that is Mega Lopunny with the Dunsparce. This is a really interesting build that I've gone with. I've gone quite creative with it, because a lot of our attackers in this deck use colourless energy, which, you know, that's pretty useful. But obviously I've added in a couple of tech attackers, and of course, you know, added in their relevant energy where required. But obviously Mega Lopunny doesn't really care what energy we run, so it's been able to make me go a bit more unique with this sort of deck build, so I hope you'll appreciate it today. So as per usual, in the description below there's going to be visual links to the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There's the games that we'll play, and of course the outro and what I think of the deck. So of course today we're going to take a look at the Phantasmal Flames of Mega Lopunny EX. Now, of course, when this card first came out, and it's still seen to some extent now, it was extremely splashable. It dealt with, you know, Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, it dealt with Crustle. This was just a really solid card, and it's one of the best Megas, in my opinion anyway, that have been printed so far. Obviously, this isn't like, you know, a top meta deck that we're playing today, but we do at least have some things going for us. Like I said, we do play a lot of colourless attack cost Pokemon, and what that means is we can get a little bit more toolboxy, is the word I would use. Because obviously, Mega Lopunny, as I said, doesn't really care what energy we run. So that means we can add in things like Moltres. Moltres is just a really solid card anyway. We know how good this card is against, you know, Mask Ogerpon, so why not? We're also playing Psyduck just to play around, you know, any Dunsparce decks running around. After playing the Mega Diancie Dunsparce deck, which you would have seen a couple of days ago, yeah, I needed a shower after that, but also I'm taking a Psyduck in this deck just to make sure. But also, we can play Lillie's Clefairy. Obviously, you know, colourless attack cost, but also psychic energy. It's been really fun to make this deck. But obviously, we do have a few other tech attackers. We have the Dunsparce EX, which is I don't remember the last time I featured this card on the channel. I generally do not remember this card is that. Well, it's obviously been featured in, you know, other players' decks that we've faced, but I generally do not remember the last time we played the Dunsparce EX in a deck. Obviously, we're mainly using it for the first attack, Tenacious Tail, which this attack does 60 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon EX in play. In other words, against Mega Box, you're taking 3 prizes with this guy, pretty much guaranteed. Against something like Raging Bolt post-rotation, you are taking 3 prizes guaranteed. Well, you're taking 2 prizes guaranteed. And it's just for a single colourless energy. But obviously, as we go a little bit further down into the deck list, we do have a Hops Cramorant in here. I needed a single prize that didn't, you know, have to engage EX Pokemon, and well, Hops Cramorant pretty much fit the bill. Pun intended with it obviously being a bird. But obviously, Fickle Spitting is, again, for a colourless energy, but obviously our opponent needs to have 3 or 4 prize cards remaining. If they don't, this attack does nothing. But, you know, Cramorant is still a really good attacker, 120 is nothing to sneeze at. It deals with the likes of Solrock, Lunatones and things like that if we need to, and can deal with Monkey Dories as well. So again, another really solid tech attacker. But otherwise, I've gone, you know, quite unique with the energy, as you're going to see in this deck as well. So let's go to the deck list, and let's have a proper look. And welcome to the deck list. As you can see, this deck list is, like, as long as you look at the first part, it looks pretty normal. But as you look further down towards the stadium and the energies, you start to see where my creativeness has come in. So I'll explain my reasoning for the Laventia and the Lightning Energy package later, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. So of course we're playing a 4 Buneary, 3 Mega Lopunny, 3 Dunsparce, 3 Dudunsparce, 1 Dudunsparce EX, 2 Lillie's Clefairy, 2 Fan Rotom, 1 Moltres, 1 Psyduck, 1 Meowth, 1 Hops Cramorant, 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna as our Pokemon lineup. The only thing in this list that I'm a little bit concerned about is actually starting the bear. We do obviously have Prime Catcher as our ace spec, and obviously we can put an air balloon on the bear, but we'd still need to commit a turn attachment. So, I don't know. But I haven't actually tested this list with the Bloodmoon. I added it in before I obviously, you know, started doing today's video. But, you know, it just made sense. You know, we're playing a 3-prize Pokemon backed up with 2 prizes and obviously single prizes. Having a Bloodmoon with Prime Catcher in the late game just feels really good. So then, of course, we have 4 Lillies, 2 Boss, 2 Hilda, which obviously grabs us our energies, plus, you know, a evolution Pokemon, which can either be the Dunsparce, the Dunsparce EX, or, of course, Mega Lopunny. Pretty solid card in general. We have one Crispin. I really think there should be two in this list. And I know it's obviously only, you know, one energy attack cost, but it's more for getting Clefairy out quicker. We do obviously have a Wondrous Patch in the list, but obviously that could be prized. So I don't know, maybe a second Crispin could be something we consider, because obviously, you know, we are playing, you know, 8 basic energy, so we could very easily get a Clefairy going. But obviously a lot of the time we're going to be mainly using colourless energy attacks, so this could be debated as, you know, a second count, or even just keeping it at 1. Then, of course, one Judge to round out our supporters, since we don't play Unfair Stamp as our A spec. 4 Poké Pads, 3 Ultra Balls, 2 Night Stretchers, 1 Buddy Poffin. This just helps us, you know, get us up in the early game. Then, of course, 1 Wondrous Patch. This is here just for the Clefairies. It's just so we can, you know, recycle the Psychic Energy, because obviously we might have to throw it away. And, you know, having Wondrous Patch to get extra energy into play is pretty busted. Then, of course, we do have Prime Catcher as the A-Spec. I really couldn't decide on an A-Spec. The original list I found was playing, I think it was Legacy Energy. And I don't know, I don't feel that's right, you know, like having the option to play Prime, reset your Lopunny, go into something like the Dunsparce, and obviously target one of their, you know, engine Pokemon like Fez or Meowth that you can obviously target, just feels a lot better. So I thought we'll play Prime, and so far it's been pretty good. Then, of course, we have 3 Air Balloon as our only tools. We don't play a way to search these, but we're playing 3. We shouldn't be having too many issues. You can put these on the Mega Lopunny, and obviously you can retreat them freely into second Lopunnies. Obviously, you can retreat them into Tech Attackers. Obviously, Fan Rotom could attack in this list. But obviously, that's mainly what the Air Balloons are for, is we don't have to just pivot into a Dudunsparce just in order to, you know, get the reset of Gale Thrust. We can Air Balloon into a Dunsparce, evolve it to a Dudunsparce, or, you know, if we have to use this, we can do that as well. But we can do Dudunsparce EX, attach an energy, attach the Air Balloon to it, so for next turn we just need 1 retreat cost. You can start to see where I'm going with this. Then we have Laventia. Now this is going to be a little bit of an explanation. So obviously, as you'll notice, when we play 2 Night Stretcher, we're not really playing a way to recover energy outside of Night Stretcher. Laventia is not only a stadium bump for us, because, well, we're going to need it, because we're probably going to get watchtowered, which against this deck would be pretty bad, but also Laventia allows us to keep energy around the board. Like I said earlier, we are mainly relying on colourless energy, which means it can be any type, and thus having lightning energy in the list is not only a Crispin target, but it's also a Laventia target. Funnily enough, I actually had to go into the search of the stadium because I didn't know how to spell Laventia. I generally didn't, so you can laugh at me for that if you want. But obviously, once during each player's turn, this player or that player may put up to, or pull up to, 2 basic lightning energy cards from the discard pile into their hand. Really solid card, and well, we're playing 3 lightnings, not the highest count, but we need to play some mists, so that's kind of why. But having this as an option means less Night Stretchers, less clunkiness with, you know, extra recovery cards, and well, we get free energy back. Why would we not play this? Then, of course, we have 3 lightnings, 3 psychics, 2 fires, and 2 mist. Mist is really good against, you know, the various different decks, like, of course, you know, Dragapult, Alakazam. The original list I found was playing 4 mist, but like I said, you can't recover mist, and they were mainly playing psychic energy. Like the original list I found anyway, it was playing double Clefairy, but it didn't play Wondrous Patch for some wacky reason. But they didn't play any Crispin or, you know, any sort of energy recovery outside of Night Stretcher, so that's why I thought I'd go for a bit of a unique build. And so far in testing, been really good. It's even gotten to the point where I didn't even show my sister the upgraded build of this, so if you're watching this, sis, here you go. This is what I ended up going with. But honestly, this list is really creative. I don't think this is going to be a meta deck. And also, in testing, you just lose to Zoroark. There's no sugarcoating it. You do not beat Zoroark with this deck. Unless they put, like, a ton of EXs in play. But even then, they can still one-shot to Dunsparce EX. So yeah, you lose to Zoroark. You're probably going to lose to Lucario, even with the double Clefairy. Because we don't play enough Wondrous Patches, which, you know, you could consider a second Wondrous Patch. But it's a case of what do you cut. But honestly, I've really enjoyed this creative deck building that I've done here. So let's get into a match and see how we do. And welcome to our first game. I'm looking forward to seeing how this unique build of mine actually goes. Obviously, I based it off of, you know, like the original list I took. Like I said, it was not playing Wondrous Patch for the Clefairies, which I thought was criminal. but it leaned more into, you know, like the Lopunny switching, like playing actual switch cards into the Dunsparce, playing the Dunsparce and things like that. And that to me just didn't sit right, you know, like you're committing a lot of, you know, like supporters, you know, because it played Surfer, the original list I found. So I thought, nah, I'm just going to play Triple Air Balloon and just go from there, really. So we'll start the Moltres. The Moltres isn't a bad starter in this deck, especially when they start that. But this hand doesn't look particularly great, I will say. It might have to be a case of I bench the Hops Cramorant just so I don't get donged, but at least we have a Fire Energy to get us started. There's a Meowth, so that's another target for our Moltres, which is good. Obviously it is a 2-hit, but, you know, it's still somewhat relevant. Let's see what they grab. They're probably going to prize check. No, they're grabbing Carmine. What could this be, then? What could this be? I'm hoping it's not some... Okay, Fighting Energy tells me nothing. Fighting Gong. Could this be Lucario, maybe? We're going to grab another Fighting Energy. Carmine. Firefighting. Is this Cereledge? I was about to say, is this Cereledge? Alright. I can see the vision here. We're not going to be able to one-shot the Cereledges, but we can at least get something going. Very interesting that they're committing to that idea, though. Like, they've gone to 0-card hand just to get, you know, an early setup. That, to me, I don't think is correct, but let's see what we get off the top. That is a pretty good draw, so we'll get rid of you, I'll get rid of you. We'll grab ourselves a Fan Rotom, which we have prized one, but I'm not worried about that. We've not prized any Duns, we've not prized any Lopunnies. Bloodmoon's in there as well. Got the Clefairy's in there as well. Got Crispin, Lillie's in there, but we have prized one of them. I don't think this is too bad at all. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. We have prized a Psychic Energy, but I can live with that. So let's go for a Fan Call. We'll grab 2 Bunearys and a Dun. We'll bench the Bunearys, bench the Dun, attach the Fire Energy to the Moltres, and we will fight in Wings. He's not here to obviously, you know, get us very far in this matchup, but the fact that we have the option of Moltres is pretty good. But unless they top deck something really good, they have to retreat this Fez. They can't leave the Fez in the active, because otherwise I'm taking 2 prizes here. I mean, they would get flipped the script if they can, you know, do something, but they're just going to retreat, and they're going to give me Cereledge, because if they give me Cereledge, that actually works better for my math later. Let's see what they do, because I don't know why they committed to this line. Like, they Ultra Balled away their entire hand. They're going to the Soul Rock. Okay, sure. Let's see what we can get off the top. Night Stretcher's good, because we do recover that Lightning Energy, which is nice. I'm not grabbing Lopunny, because obviously I have more Lopunnies in, you know, the deck, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to double attach. I'll attach here, and we're just fighting Wings for 20. It's not relevant, but technically if we do it, or if we do this another 2 times, it is relevant. So that could be something. Because then we can, you know, go into Mega Lopunny and we could even knock this out with the first attack without needing to switch, but still. We're both kind of dead drawing here, but I'm not worried about that. If I get a boss, I will be going for that Fez, that's for sure. Although I could go for Cereledge because it's got a 2 retreat cost, but if they get an energy off, that's kind of bad. Mist Energy? Okay. The Dunsparce EX. Well, we're not doing anything right now, so we're just going to hit them again. Obviously, Mist will count towards the Cereledge's attack, but still, the Dunsparce will actually be quite good if they bench another EX, and we can get a Plink on this Cereledge. That would be quite nice. Naveen. I don't even know what this card does. Draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. Before drawing cards, you may discard any number of cards from your hand. You can't draw any cards in this way, you can't use this card. Interesting. Not the sort of, you know, deck that I thought this was going to be. But still. They're going to Abyssal Flames, take out my Moltres. We need something off the top here, because even though we can't one-shot this Cereledge, we can still put it in range. That's not anything. I could bench this Buneary and give them it. I can bench Hop's Cramorant. So we'll do that, because then if we can get an energy, even if we just get an energy, I can plink them into a Hop's Cram. So I'm not too worried about that. We're not really doing a lot, which is quite unfortunate. We've been quite unlucky with our draws here. And obviously now they're going to have Lunatone Solrock established. There's another Cerulege. I'm not too happy with this board state right now. Obviously now they've got double Cerulege, which now they're at 7 energy to discard. So that's 170 damage with the Cerulege. There's a Poké Pad. That's not going to be too relevant for them. They've already got their basics and everything established. And the Lillies. Can I have that? Please? I need it. My hand is dead. And yeah, they're just going to Abyssal Flames. Yeah, we could still win this matchup. We're just going to have to go, you know, we're just going to have to hope. I'll promote the Buneary because obviously this does have free retreat. That ain't going to do it, Chief. But that does set up my attack with Hop's Cram. So we'll do that. Fickle Spitting for 120. I'm like, even though we top deck an energy there, I am not confident right now. This is definitely not feeling very good. Because also they're going to keep drawing cards off of Lunacycle, so I'm not confident. It's the fact that, yeah, that's definitely not going to help. It's the fact that we've just been whiffing. Like, we've not seen a single draw supporter. Like, no draw supporters, not even an Ultra. Like, we've seen one Ultra Ball. Like, that's it. It's like, wow. So they're at 10 energy, so that's 230 right now. We need something soon, because otherwise we're probably going to lose this game. They're going to Ultra Ball away 2 Fightings. So how many energy is that? That's 12, so 270. They are creeping closer to the Mega Lopunny knockout. I'm not confident about this one, folks, I'll be honest, but there we go, 270. This might be a concession because of the pure fact that we just had nothing. Yeah, because even if I use the Dunsparce EX, they still knock it out with this fresh one, so it's like... And if we manage to knock this out, we lose to this Cerulege after 2 attacks, so it's like, we don't really have any options here. I don't know, Chief. Like, they got off to a really bad start, but so did we, and they've had draw supporters in their draw engine. We've had nothing this whole time, so it's like, what do I do here? Okay, we've finally got a Dunsparce. Can this save us? Runaway draw. There's a Meowth and a Hilda. We can Hilda. Grab you. We need a basic energy anyway. So we can go you. Well, to be fair, it doesn't matter what energy I grab. So then we need to go into... my mouse got caught. Maybe mouse pad then. We'll go into you. Through retreat. Into the Lopunny. And Gale Frost 230. I think we're too far behind. I'm going to try. But there's not a lot I can do here, unfortunately. Like, we did get that boss, which feels good, but like they're just gonna, they could just, hold on, so how many energy do they need? 260, 290. They literally need 2 energy in the discard, so if they retreat this Fez, or do that, if they retreat this Fez, if they'd retreated the Fez, and then got a Lunacycle off, we would be losing right now, but because they didn't see that line, we might survive this turn, albeit barely. They're doing 310 right now. They attach a basic energy. I don't think we can do it. I think it's a case of, you know, we're just too far behind. And yeah, they've got the Carmine and that's their energy. I'm just going to scoop it up. And that's that, unfortunately. Now, when the game's taken that long, even when I press concede, yeah, not a lot we could have done there. Let's go to a game 2. And welcome back to game 2. That's an unfortunate loss to Cerulege. I mean, what can I really, you know, do there? Like, I was dead drawing the entire time. I didn't really have anything going. So, I'm not blaming the deck. PTCGL has been having it out for me every so often. So, I think it's just a case of PTCGL having it out for me. Okay, that's pretty good. We can start a Dunsparce. That's actually really good. Because we can go to Dunsparce as well. This is a pretty good opening hand, especially when you have Prime in deck. That's pretty good. Hopefully we can make ourselves up for that previous game, because we was just dead drawing. Like we only saw, we didn't even see a single supporter. Ooh, Mega Sharpedo. This could be interesting. So we're going to bench the Fan, or Fan Call. Let's go for 2 Bunearys and a Dun, like we did last time. We have prized 2 Buneary, which could be a problem. We've not prized any Mega Lopunny, which is good. Dudunsparce is in the deck as well. Moltres is in the deck. Okay. What about Lightning Energy? That's fine. And the basic Fire Energies are in there as well. I'm pretty happy with this start. So we'll go Buneary, Buneary, Dunsparce. We'll go Attach Lightning to Buneary. Do I want to play this Poké Pad now? I think I hesitate on that. Purely because, you know, if we need to, you know, Prime Catcher their Carvana, because if they may not get another Carvana down, which is nice. I mean, they just got a Lillies off that Tatsugiri. And well, there's a Buddy Poffin. Okay, there's a Carvana and a Toxel. See, this is the sort of matchup where, like, we're probably gonna struggle. That's the main thing I think this deck, you know, does struggle with, is opposing Megas. Because, you know, it's not a case of the deck being bad, it's a case of the deck struggling with certain, you know, archetypes and things like that. Well, there's an Ultra Ball. So we'll get rid of Clefairy and Psyduck. We can grab ourselves a Lopunny, so that's good. Because now we can get immediate pressure on. In fact, I can evolve. I can prime the Carvana now. I can go into the Dunsparce. Yeah. So we'll do that. Go into the Dunsparce. Runaway draw. That's not bad at all. Promote the Mega Lopunny. We'll attach a Psychic here. Do I need to do anything else? I can Poké Pad for a second the Dunsparce in case they play Stamp. So I'll do that. And then Gale Frost 230, take out the Carvana. Nice easy start. That's what we want. That's kind of why we play Prime, but to be fair, Prime's purely in this list because I didn't think Legacy Energy was suitable. That's literally it. It did make sense with, you know, the concept of the build, but I just didn't think it was, you know, the best idea. But that's just me. They're going to Ultra Ball away. Depends on what they Ultra Ball away. Binding Mochi and Toxel. And they're going to grab the Mega now, because that seems a bit risky. Because if you evolve the Mega now... I don't know about this one, Chief. They can Greedy Fang for 70, but it's like... I just retreat this Lopunny, go into the Buneary. I don't know about this one, Chief, I'll be honest. I mean, if you're going to bench more EXs, that'd be nice. I would love to see that. There we are, that's another EX. That's what I like to see. He's going to retreat and give it a Toxtricity. Oh, okay, I know what you're doing here. You're going to go in with this after you Toxtricity, and you're going to do 270 with Hungry Jaws. Clever, I'll give you that. But realistically, is this your best line? I don't know, because you poison yourself. I'm not really sure what my opponent is planning to do here, but the nice thing is we can retreat the Lopunny, go into the Dunsparce, hit Judge. We can actually recover this Lightning as well if we want to, but I don't think we need to. But let's see what they do, because obviously they are going to Hungry Jaws for, well, 270, which is fine. It's just we need to be careful of Lopunny being gusted now. So they're at 300 HP. We are not touching that with a 10-foot barge pole, let's put it that way. There's a Mega Lopunny. That is a really good top deck. So we'll retreat into the Dunsparce, well, the Dunsparce, I should say. Do I want to grab that back, this energy? I don't think I do, so we're just going to play the Judge. We don't really limit them too much with this Judge, but that's not really why I'm playing it. So we'll go Dunsparce. I could go Miss Energy, but it's like, I don't really benefit from it. So we'll go Runaway Draw. There's Crispin plus a Lillies. I can threaten Hop's Cram when they take a knockout, so that's good. Well, that's if they go for the, you know, the benched Mega Lopunny. So I can threaten Hop's Cram here, which is good. I'll attach... What's relevant here? Not too... I mean, Fire Energy could be relevant later. I'll attach Mist, and we'll Gale Thrust 230. Hit the Sharpedo. If they have Boss for the Lopunny, that just feels bad, but at least they're getting a hit in on this one. So that's something. And then all we need to do is take out Petrarun for game. So I'm happy with that. We can even do it with a single prize, which is nice. Team Rocket's Watchtower, that's a Sting. I don't like to see that. We need to find a Lapentia. They have their own Mega Lopunny, interestingly enough. Not sure why it's in your list, though, because this doesn't have an ability. Like, why are you playing this? It doesn't make any sense. There's a Judge. That does mean no Gust from them. We do have a boss for this Sharpedo now. So we can actually go, you know, we can go knock out this Petrarun, and we can go from there. They're going to go into the Mega Lopunny, it looks like. See, this to me just... I don't know about this play here. I mean, yeah, you're doing 230, but, you know, I'm not really worried about that because, you know, I can take this out, and then, you know, all I need to do is boss the Petrarun the game. But anyway, we'll let our opponent make our decisions on their own terms. We're not going to be able to use the Dunsparce now, that's why I didn't bother mentioning Meowth. So my only thought is I'd only need to do 60 damage to take this guy out. So if I boss it now, I take 3 prizes, so I think I'm fine with that. So then we'll Gale Thrust for 60, pick up the Mega Sharpedo, and take 3 prize cards. Then all we need to do is boss that Petrarun. There's a Laventia. That's good. We need that. We needed that stadium. We have got a Lightning Energy discard power, which is good. But obviously now we can go Laventia to bump the stadium. We can grab a Lightning Energy after promoting the Dunsparce. We can Meowth for second boss and win on Petrarun. Why is he powering up the Petrarun? You're not attacking with that, are you? Please do not tell me you're going to attack with that. Because if you do, you lose. You'd have to be really thick in order to do that strategy there, mate. I'm not saying my opponent is. I'm just saying I don't know why you're powering this up, because it literally won't make a difference to you. You can, you know, attach Retreat into the Mega Lopunny and just hope I get a boss. And I think that's what they're going to do. They go into the Mega Lopunny and Gale Thrust for the knockout. They do take 3 prizes, but even though I didn't prize check, which I really should have, but it's fine. Let's go into the Dudunsparce and draw for turn. So we'll bounce the stadium, play the Meowth, and there it is. So then we Laventia. Grab back that Lightning Energy, attach it to the Mega Lopunny, run away draw, which isn't relevant here. We'd have gotten an energy anyway, but we needed Laventia to win this game. We can then bolt the Petrarun and Gale Thrust for 230 and take game, thanks to the Laventia package. Now you see my creative vision when it came to this deck. Really impressive game against Sharpedo there. I thought that was going to be a tough matchup, and it sort of was. I wasn't expecting Mega Lopunny in their list, though. I don't know why they're playing that, but I suppose it's a cheap alternative attacker, so yeah. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it, but ultimately we was able to take the win there thanks to Gale Thrust's 60 getting that Mega Sharpedo KO. And, well, it's not every day you get to see Laventia in a deck like this. Let's go to Game 3. And welcome back to Game 3. That was a really fun game there against Mega Sharpedo. The fact that we was able to get the, you know, the Laventia strategy going, like I said, it means you have to play. You don't have to play as much recovery, which is nice. You don't have to play any energy recovery per se, apart from Night Stretcher. You can just, you know, grab out your lightnings and just freely get attachments throughout the entire game. Ooh, that's not what I want to see as my starter, but it'll have to do, I'm afraid. I really didn't want to start the Meowth. There's no way to recover this card. Obviously, we can hand attach 3 times to it. Well, hand attach once and then Crispin once, but, well, we don't really want to be doing that. It's not the end of the world. It means I can put a mist on it and protect it for the meantime, but yeah, this is not the good starter of the deck, but we can at least Poké Pad for what we need. So I'm not worried in the slightest here. It looks like our opponent's taking their sweet time to, well, get set up and everything, but that's fine. Like I say, though, I'm glad that the Laventia package got to show its way. Yes, we would have drawn into, you know, something, but, you know, we would have had a stadium that isn't Laventia in our hand at that time. But I just thought Laventia made the most sense because, like I said, we use colourless attackers. So I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, it's taken my opponent their sweet time. Bear in mind, we're going first. We don't get to play a support card. And, well, I don't think the Dunsparce EX is going to get any use this video, but maybe this might be a matchup where he is. And yeah, they're still not doing anything. But like I said, I'm glad this build is working, you know. I didn't expect it to, but it's working well, so that's at least something. And after a long time, we have Dragonite. Ooh, this is rough. Because they hit exactly 330, so we just got to hope we get set up. Right, well, we do have Clefairy in this matchup, to be fair. It's not a complete loss, but yeah, they have 370 HP, so I'm not looking forward to this. So we do have Clefairy, we do have Crispin, we do have Wondrous Patch, so that's good. And we do have double Psychic in the deck. Okay, well, let's get started off with a Fan Call. Grab 2 Bunearys and a Dun. We obviously can't Fan Rotom twice in a turn. That'd be kind of correct, I will say. I'll attach Mist to the Buneary. I can always, you know, Air Balloon this Meowth or just attach this Psychic Energy. I don't need to put an energy on the Meowth now, because obviously you never know what they're packing in that deck. But yeah, this deck's really creative. Like, when I saw it online, I was obviously like, well, where's your Wondrous Patches? You're playing double Clefairy. You've got no way to double accelerate to a Clefairy. What is, you know, what's the point of this list? And looks like they have their own Mega Lopunny package. It seems everyone's playing it today. There's a Tynamo. They've got a Dratini with an energy. And they just pass. That's fine by me. I can bonk this Dratini in the face. And there's our Clefairy, so that's good. I'm going to evolve you. Do I want to bench Clefairy now? Not really, because that does present a target. I can attach... I'll just Lillies. I'll save the resources for later. The Dunsparce might come in useful, so you never know. I'll go into you. Poké Pad for a Dunsparce, because obviously I don't know the race spec. I'm going to assume that it's, you know, I'm going to assume that it's a good old friend Unfair Stamp. And we will Gale Frost for 230, take out the Dratini. Happy with that? That's a good start. Obviously, we need to be careful of their Mega Lopunny, but we can deal with it. It's fine. The only way in which this goes horribly wrong for us is if they go into Mega Lopunny, boss this, and then I don't really have anything going. But in fairness, if they do that, that's good because they're not hitting my Lopunny. And it looks like they're doing the exact play I just said. That's fine though, because like I say, we get a hit in on this Mega Lopunny before they get a hit on ours. So you can do what you like, my friend. I'm happy for you to do that. I don't even need to Dudunsparce. I could just leave him on the bench. So I'm perfectly happy with that. Let's go into the Mega Lopunny. Alright, Air Balloon. We'll put it on the Fan, because Fan can obviously be a free retreat in this deck. Do I want to play this Poké Pad? I might as well thin the deck. I'll grab another Dudunsparce. So we'll evolve you. I can get a turn attachment of Lightning onto my Buneary. And I will Lillies. Get a fresh 6. There's Laventia. I'm not going to put that down now. Do I need to put that in this Buneary now? I don't think so. I need to obviously retreat this. I know that much. But that's fine. We don't need to worry about miss energy in this matchup. So we'll do that. Do we need to... I can bench Clefairy. I mean, it's not a big deal. And yeah, we'll just Gale Frost for 230. Get a nice swing in. Because like I say, now if they do lean into their strategy of obviously, you know, the Mega Dragonite, I have an answer to it. So, you know. Like I said though, I think this deck, in order to be a bit more consistent with dealing with dragon types, and obviously, you know, the numerous fighting types in the right now. I think we need to play more ways to get energy onto Clefairy. I just don't think we're playing enough in this list, but you know, that's something we can discuss in the, you know, the end part of this video. But so far, I'm pretty happy with how this game's gone. You know, they don't really have anything. You know, they've not set up a Dratini. They've got their Mega Lopunny pretty well banged up. I'm happy with this, you know. They can do what they like as far as I'm concerned. I'm not using a single Gusting card. So if they retreat this Lopunny, there's a high chance I find a Gusting card. And they're just going to pass. So we can even Spiky Hop at them, which is always satisfying. We'll Wondrous Patch to the Clefairy. In fact, we can even do it with Clefairy to rub their nose in it, but I don't think that's going to be relevant. I'm not going to Spiky Hopper. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of seeing that. Do I want to put down Laventia? They are playing Lightning Energy, so no. I'll Gale Thrust. I could have Spiky Hoppered them, but it's fine. You know, that's why Laventia is in the list in the first place. So, you know. And there's a boss. Excellent. I'm really happy that this deck has been working. You know, I'm proud of my deck building for this. It's not very often like I do, you know, something so unique, but, you know, I'm really happy with myself for this. But I think it's safe to say our opponent has a building, to put it politely. Obviously, if they put down a 2-prizer that is, you know, Clefairy, well, not strong enough to stand to Clefairy or Mega Lopunny, we win with Valencia. Well, I didn't say Valencia, then that was a girl I used to work with in my workplace, but no. But yeah, genuinely, when I was like constructing this deck, I was like, how the hell do I spell Laventia? I went LEV, and obviously I was doing it on Limitless, so it didn't come up, and I was like, eh? So yeah, it was a funny one, but yeah, I don't think my opponent's coming back. So if they do come back, I will obviously show that, but if they don't, I'll see you in the outro. And our opponent, unfortunately, did leave the game. To be fair, they did seem they were struggling. You know, a turn 2 Mega Lopunny straight into their only Dratini. I mean, I think it would have been better for their game plan if they, you know, Gale Thrusted my Mega Lopunny, you know, forced me to retreat it, and obviously, you know, they had boss and stuff like that. Obviously, they did have a boss, which they ended up using on a Meowth, but still, I think they definitely did the wrong play there, but I guess it's because, you know, if they hit one of my Mega Lopunnies, I just come in with another, and if they kill the one that they've already hit, I just finish off theirs, and then they still don't have nothing, so I don't know, maybe my opponent was just not happy with that. But we got into Mewtwo rank, which is always nice. I think we might have been in there before, but I honestly didn't even notice. So, what do I think to this deck? This is a really fun little build. Like, I don't think this is going to be a meta deck anytime soon. I think it needs to lean more into the toolbox style of approach. So, I think Mist Energy can be kept, you know. Mist Energy is a good card to have in the format right now. We know with all the port running around and stuff like that. And obviously the Alakazam as well, which would be a horrible matchup for us. But I think it's a case of, you know, the Laventia idea really did, you know, pull its weight. Because obviously, even in that instance, obviously I had Laventia in that final turn when my opponent Rage Quit. I would have been able to drop Laventia, retreat the Mega Lopunny we had, go into the fresh one, Laventia for 2 Lightnings back, hand attached to the active, and then still have one in hand for later. And even if we got Unfair Stamped, we would have been fine because we had double the Dunsparce established. The only way in which that would obviously, you know, downfall us would obviously be, you know, Team Rocket's Watchtower, which obviously we did have to deal with that in the second game. But this deck did perfectly fine because we had a Laventia package. I think the Laventia package is a really unique idea. The problem is obviously Lightning Energy isn't really worthwhile, you know, like as an energy type to like have a backup attacker with, because Lightning isn't really relevant right now. Obviously, when Mega Greninja comes out, it's, you know, it's going to be good. You know, Lightning Energy with Lightning, you know, tech attackers will be really good. There are definitely going to be some that will obviously tech for Mega Greninja because of how good it is. But I think until then, this deck playing Laventia plus a couple of at least 3 Lightnings, I think, would be really good. I also think we need to play another Wondrous Patch just so we have the option of Clefairy a bit more easier. Even an energy switch would be nice, you know, maybe something to consider as a one-off. But other than that, this deck went actually really well. I'm really impressed with it. You know, like obviously I based it off an online list, but, you know, I did make it my own, and no other list that I've seen is playing Laventia and, you know, Lightning Energies. I'm really impressed with this deck build, and I'm really happy that this deck did do so well. But like I said, there's not really a lot I could really suggest changing about it. I just think, you know, leaning into the Clefairy a bit more would be something that would benefit its bad matchups, you know, like Lucario. Lucario would be horrendous for this deck if you didn't play, you know, Clefairy and stuff like that. So maybe double Wondrous Patch, maybe double Crispin, even though we're only playing one energy attackers for the most part. I think just having a way to get more energy into play is just so key. But honestly, I really enjoyed this deck, and I might keep this list around for the future. But anyway, we'll leave it all to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing Mega Lopunny with the Dunsparce package, and also the other tech attackers that we had. And I'll see you next time.